This is a Headgum podcast.
You can have your choice.
Okay. I want blue. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
You know what? I'm wearing blue. I'm gonna slide into this red here.
You know, that did occur to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're visual people.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I mean, I totally misread that in a lazy way where you just say, hey, so Nick's reps called, and then he's going to be, and you just fill it in.
You just fill it in. It's going to be 10 minutes late.
When is it ever early? How old's your kid?
I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. How old's your kid?
She'll be 8 in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Can
I have this coffee on, or should I pour it into something else?
Totally fine to have on.
Yeah. We're not, this isn't...
You're going to lose your coffee sponsorship?
Yeah. I don't...
You're going to lose your...
First of all, thank
coffee?
you. It's good to see you.
Good to see you
It's
as
been
well.
been a while.
Yeah.
But this is the first episode back after well, we stopped down. I was on tour. I'm still on tour, but we're doing the Broadway thing.
Yeah.
We're in this. Oh fuck! That just occurred to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that why you're here?
Yeah, that's why I'm in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
We're not doing it together, but we are both doing it.
Yeah. Wait, I'm going to guess that you and I and Fred Armisen, let me think if there might be somebody else in there, are basically doing the same stuff.
I think so. I think what I've been told is they're switching certain roles based on cast so that nothing is ever exactly the same. But yes, I believe for the most part I'm sitting in the Fred seat. I would imagine you are, and then I don't know. Are you with Hank Azaria or are you?
No.
Okay, so then I imagine.
No,
Hank
we went
is.
through a rough patch and we decided to just sort of, separate. We're still in touch. We're still friends. We're just trying to make it work.
Right. He decided to do The Simpsons for 30 years. And
that was I told him 30 years ago, that's a deal breaker, and when it got to year 29, I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I'm waiting.
Yeah. Well, you're waiting tables now?
Yeah, I'm waiting tables.
Where?
Do you know Smith and Walensky's?
I do.
Yes.
They're a wonderful chain.
It's this. I'm working in the Vegas Smith and Walensky's. I work in but I work in the special chef's table in the back.
Oh wow, cool.
So I take care of some of the worst people in the world.
Now I've heard. I can't remember which one, but one of them, either Smith or Walensky, is not a great guy. Not a great guy.
I can't say because obviously we're on a
live link to the Smith and
we're all
Walensky.
lived up, and you guys can check us out on
SmithandWalensky.com. We're doing a live. It's a corporate show.
Yeah, it's a corporate for the Smith and Walensky, and so obviously we cannot say which Smith or Walensky is a monster of a person, but
because there are a bunch of them. There's so many Walenskys out there.
There are a lot of. There's only 3 Smiths after they all died in that plane crash, but the rest of them are fine. The 3 of them. Yeah, and the Walenskys are rampant across the country.
There's so many of them. Man, they're just get your tubes tied. Right. So are you doing it this week? It's called All In. Well, this won't air in time. How long are you doing? 2 weeks?
I'm doing till February 2nd.
Oh yeah, this might. Okay, great. So if you're in New York City, definitely check out M&M World in Times Square, and then after that, head over to what's the name of the theater?
The Hudson Theater.
The Hudson Theater, and check out All In. Comedy about love, something like that.
Comedy about love,
and Nick Kroll will be on stage.
Yes, I will.
And he has graciously offered to meet up with everybody after the show. You come to the stage door.
I want to get to know you.
Nick.
I want to shake everybody's hands.
And a kiss on the lips.
A kiss on the lips. I want you and I want your mother to take as long as she needs to take a picture
It's on video.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I don't know how this works. Now it's me.
Mom, I can do it myself. I can handle it myself if you want.
I've got it. This will be a better picture anyway because I can get you in the light. So step
right underneath the light so that you look like a Nazi propaganda cartoon of a Jew. But it's really I've done like 3 nights so far. It's me, Andrew Rannells, Adie Bryant, and Lin-Manuel Miranda, and it's really I think you'll have a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I went to the premiere night, whatever they call that, the not opening night, but
because this one's a little different because it's like not like you do your previews and then you do the thing. But I
went to that one, and it was really fun. Fred and Richard Kind and Nick. John, and I can't remember.
Was it Renee Goldsberry or Chloe Feynman? I think it was Renee Goldsberry.
From Hamilton.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. It's like this amazing thing. Like, it's very weird. Like you're on tour right now, where it's like when you're on tour and it's your show, you're like,
sure.
The responsibility of like, I'm up here, I got to bring these people in. It's my hour, and then you go and do the show every night at the same place.
I mean, that sounds very freeing. And I live here, so and
you live in Times Square.
I live in the theater. Yeah, I'm me and a couple mice. I discovered when I went to go because I didn't know exactly where it was in the geography of Times Square, the theater, and I took the subway and I was walking over. I was like, I can just take the C to the F, and I will never have to step foot in Times Square, which is awesome. Yeah, that was the most exciting thing about doing the show.
Well, because you spend the rest of your day in Times Square just working outside in that Iron Man suit. So, like, this is a good chance for you to.
Here's the thing, and I know I take pride in this, but it's foolish. I understand that to try to, in the Iron Man suit, do caricatures while I'm juggling is like so hard and underappreciated.
It's underappreciated because that glove, that Iron Man glove, is so thick because of the thing. It's hard for you to grip.
Yeah, and I've got a real one, that was made in China. Which is where they make the real ones.
Yeah,
so.
Of course, but it is impressive that you are juggling.
We're talking with Nick Kroll from the world of stand-up and television and
the occasional failed movie. How was your movie? You've been in some good movies.
Yeah, I have been in some good movies. I've also been in some shit movies. Yeah.
It's so hard to be in a good movie that works.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, the amount of, like, energy and effort put into making a movie that you make or that you try to be in or that gets made, and how few of them are actually, like, good, successful movies.
Well, I've had a different career than you, Nick, because I haven't experienced, in a per capita, mostly the films are pretty good.
Yes.
That I've been lucky enough to be a part of.
That is true.
And as I said, there were some real stinkers, but now do you see everything you're in?
Oh, I exclusively watch the stuff I'm in.
It's the only way you can get off anymore.
I'm like, you know what I hate? Like, not one of those actors, but I'm like, you know what? I just like can't stand watching other people.
The entire time you're like, you just cringe, like, did he say that?
I cringe.
Oh, what a missed opportunity.
I know. So I just watch my work. I just relax and watch my work. Yeah. And I do watch most of the things I'm in. So occasionally I don't, but I do. Yeah. And usually I spend the first time watching something just staring at myself and just hating my physical appearance.
For me, it's about, I look at something and go, oh, what a dumb choice. I had so many choices as an actor, you have all these choices.
Yeah.
Sometimes you do something and you're not, like I was in and my reps pushed hard for me to be in it. I was psyched to do it, but I was in like, what do you call those, like, biopic series? And I was playing a real person. And I just, I should not have been
cast.
Yeah. I mean, I tried, and I had studied the guy, and I was trying to get his voice down, and, this kind of guy. And I communicated extensively with his last wife, who was very helpful. But it
could just say Frank Sinatra.
It was Joey Bishop, the Joey Bishop story. 33 episodes, hour long each.
And still feel like you didn't cover it all.
Yeah, no, there's so much that was left.
So you talked to his wife and like went deep on it, and you didn't like where
it wasn't my my particular set of skills and talent aren't in a very kind of it's almost like a procedural where there's fairly strict parameters. You're expected to work in those parameters, and and I've done tons of shit, but it just didn't. It wasn't my thing, and I shouldn't have been. I felt bad for the director, who I don't think cared for me, and was also, I think, not psyched that I was. When I first went to meet him, he was less than enthusiastic, and I got the feeling. Also, I was cast pretty late, so I got the feeling there was probably somebody he wanted, wasn't available, maybe was in it and then couldn't do it. This is all speculative. I don't know. And then, and it's I think the only time ever on a set where I was like he was giving me direction that it just wasn't clicking, right? And that happens sometimes, rarely, but it will happen where you're like, I'm trying to give you what you want, not what I want. I'm trying to give you what you want, and it's just give me a second to try to get there, because I don't know exactly what you're looking for. I have an idea, and I'm trying to get there, but and then one of those things where he gave me like the same kind of thing. Like, I thought I just did that, and I needed to talk to him instead of shouting across a soundstage, and did that kind of frustrating thing. It was like, hey man, can we stopped? Can we go outside and talk? Let's go. Like one of those. I don't think I've ever done that before.
How did that feel?
It was just out of frustration. Yeah. And then I ended up one of the producers who I have worked with before on boy, I'm being really vague about this.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I understand.
I wonder if I should just say. I mean,
I think everyone at smithandwolensky.com would love to know.
So it was the show Genius, and I was playing Jerry Wexler.
Oh, okay.
Cool. And I will say it was 8 episodes, and I think it was in 6 of them. So at the end of shooting, in fact, in the one of the last scenes we shot, if not the last scene, where it's much more, it was the Aretha Franklin story, and I go to visit her towards the very end, and it's 2 old friends kind of catching up, and we got to riff. I got to riff, which is always helpful for me, And
even if they don't use it, it just loosens you up, and you find it. Yeah.
Yeah. And that really worked in a way where you want to go, can we just reshoot everything and do it this way?
Well, I mean, that's the funny thing I think if you come at all of this as like a comedian, writer, kind of actor first, our instinct is just like, let me just massage all this, and then I can come back to it or not. But so it's interesting. I mean, that's the fun thing about doing the all in every night and about doing a play is like you have every night to make different choices. It's not like when you're shooting something, you're like, well, I hope we got it on Wednesday because that's it.
Yeah.
you just keep to get going back in and kind of massaging it and trying to get the lines in a way that work like that, which is like fun and usually not my instinct, which is just like, can I just change, or like I'll have written, I'll be like, can I just change this and now make this funnier words as opposed to like making better choices. So but it's also about the sometimes rewriting dialogue is just a matter of swapping out a word or something that sounds more natural to the character. Yeah.
So it's not like a criticism. It's not like, so I got rid of these lines that sucked and put in my own lines that are better.
Yeah.
It's just about little nuanced things that will help sell the character. That's the way the character might speak. And
do you like me if it's a sort of...
I like you. I think you're all right.
Do you like me? I'm okay.
Check one.
Do you... Okay, great. I just immediately pass out. Most of the things that I ever get cast in that's sort of like more on the dramatic side is like a biopic, and it's to play a Jew in the 60s.
Well, were there Jews in the 60s?
It might have been the golden age.
I haven't gotten that many. No, not really. I'm trying to think. Well, obviously Wexler.
Have you played? I feel like.
What am I talking about? Allen Ginsberg, and then I played Allen Ginsberg's father to Daniel. I'm not kidding.
Yes, yeah.
In another movie.
Yeah,
I played.
I figured
dad.
You've played the entire Ginsberg catalog.
Yeah.
If they ever make a Patti Smith movie, you'll get to play Ginsberg in that as well.
Sure, I hope. One would think.
I'm going out for Patti. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Good luck.
Hey, planning any exciting trips this year? I bet something you might not be planning is learning the local language. Well, with Babbel, you only need a few weeks to learn, unless you're going to Arkansas. This year, speak like a whole new you with Babbel, the language learning app that gets you talking. Learning a new language is the pathway to discovering new cultures, so why not embark on learning something new? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons, handcrafted by over 200 language experts, get you to begin speaking your new language in 3 weeks or whatever pace you choose. And because conversing is the key to really understanding each other in new languages, Babbel is designed using practical, real-world conversations. Spending months with private teachers is the old way of learning languages, and nothing screams tourist like holding a phone translation app up to your face all day. Babbel's tips and tools are inspired by the real-life stuff you actually need when communicating. Where's the poo-poo room, for instance? With a focus on conversation, you'll be ready to talk wherever you go. For instance, I'm going to be in Europe on my European leg of my tour, and I plan on going to England. So I am going to speak English there. If I was going to Three Gorges, where the dams come together, I don't know the section in China, I'd use Babbel to learn that they speak there. Need proof that Babbel gets you talking? Studies from Yale, Michigan State, which is the Yale of Michigan State, and other leading universities continue to prove Babbel works. One study found that using Babbel for 15 hours is equivalent to a full semester at college. With over 16 million subscriptions sold, Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by a 20-day money-back guarantee. This year, get talking with Babbel. Let's get more of you talking in a new language. Babbel is gifting our listeners 60% off of subscriptions at babbel.com/senses. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/senses, spelled BABBEL.com/senses. Babbel.com/senses. Rules and restrictions may apply.
What were you?
What were you doing?
About Jews being
Jews
a
in the
60s Jew. Yeah, I mean, I'm not Timothy Chalamet.
You're not?
No, not anymore. I got since the fucking court decided. But
I just want to say for everyone out there, I'm genuinely sorry that you don't get to be Timothy Chalamet anymore.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, I was doing well until he started acting, and then the whole thing just went south.
It kind of fell apart, and I don't blame him either.
No, it's just circumstance.
Exactly. But if I had to choose a Chalamet,
well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm choosing Cross's Chalamet.
Yeah, thank you. Well, a lot of people did. I think that's why there was a little bit of competition there.
Sure, for a while, and then he eventually, obviously, pulled ahead, and
slightly. It remains to be seen.
He did win the popular vote.
Yes, he did. But he was in Dune and I was in Dude, so at the same time they came out and it was very confusing to people.
Is there any word about when Dune Where's My Car is coming out?
Yeah, I think when Cracked magazine gets back together.
Cracked is up and running as a .com.
I know that I know.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Were you? I mean, you're younger than me, so you did. I don't know if you ever got into Mad Magazine or. I
had a period where I had a friend who loved Mad Magazine, so and then I just bought my son a Mad Magazine.
Wow.
And it's dated.
Yeah, well, it's stuff that I really loved when I was 7 and 8. Like, this is really funny.
Yeah.
And then when you're like, oh, adults are writing this.
Right.
And they think it's really funny.
Yes.
It's a strange evolution to make. But I loved Mad, but I remember when Cracked came out, and it was, it was the poor man's Mad, because it was literally cheaper. And Mad had Alfred E. Newman as the mascot, and then Cracked was like the weird janitor guy.
Cracked had its own guy.
Yeah, it's like a blonde guy with like one of those weird Dutch boy hats, and then there was an even shorter lived comedy magazine called Plop.
Plop?
Yeah, for real.
And that was like the minor leagues of Cracked and Mad.
Mad was major leagues, Cracked was minor leagues, and Plop was Special Olympics. I think.
Plop. I guess that's funny because it sounds like a shit the noise a shit makes.
Yeah, as we're told. I wouldn't know, but that's
you still haven't made?
I still haven't made.
You haven't made a BM yet?
Is that what you say to your kids?
Honey, have you made a BM yet today? I say that to my child. That's how I talk to my child.
Right.
Honey.
2025 is here, and Mint Mobile has a resolution for you. Skip the gym, skip the fad diets, skip the BS resolutions, the Blarney Stone resolutions you'll forget about by next month. Let's all just say Blarney Stone instead of bullshit, and then we don't, because BS, everybody knows, but there are kids in the room, and they go, what's BS stand for? If you say Blarney Stone, we'll know it means bullshit, and then the kids won't be any of the wiser. Instead, make a resolution to save some serious cash by making the switch to Mint Mobile. And right now, you can get half off their 3-month unlimited plan. It's time to leave your overpriced wireless plan's jaw-dropping monthly bills, unexpected overages, and all other Blarney Stones in 2024. Mint Mobile is dropping huge savings for the new year by offering any 3-month plan for only $15 a month. Even their unlimited plan. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. You can even bring your current phone and your number. Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile. It's so easy. Sign up online and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. Switch to Mint and new customers can get half off an unlimited plan until February 2nd. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plans shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/senses. That's mintmobile.com/senses. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 GB on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Do you speak baby talk to your kids?
I don't think so. I do like a little. You know what I do is I do Elmo for them.
Well, that's not what I mean. I mean like calling water Wawa or anything like that. Like some people speak baby talk to their kids.
No, I don't think so. I since they're 3 months old, I speak to them like my attorney. Incredibly formal. Or like when you go to the doctor and you want to sound like you have a good grasp of what's happening to your body. Like I'll do that with my children.
Right.
Yeah. With an 8-year-old, do you talking to your kid like is it like talking to an adult?
I've done that since she was a kid, and intentionally.
Yeah,
and I don't change my vocabulary. I mean, Bob Odenkirk gave me some really good advice, or not necessarily advice, but just told me he does this, and then I started doing it as well, where you use synonyms whenever you can. So you would say, any kind of, Well, that made me upset. I was angry. You'd use 2 words that mean the same thing, basically, and and they don't even notice necessarily. But you're always you're expanding their vocabulary, and she has a very good vocabulary, But also, myself and my wife are verbal people.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to ask this, but who is Bob Odenkirk?
Oh, he. Let me. Google.
Yeah, do you have a phone?
Yeah, I'm going to Google.
Okay.
Hang on a second, Bob. Emma, how do you spell Odenkirk?
Is it with a O?
I have to look it up. I think so. I have to.
Oh, here we go. American actor and comedian. Okay.
Oh, okay. Bob Odenkirk.
Odenkirk. Oden. Kirk.
Odenberg?
Kirk.
Oh, Kirk. Okay.
Yeah. So he was in an episode of Seinfeld.
Oh.
He did.
Jerry Seinfeld's show.
Yeah.
I know who Jerry Seinfeld
Well, who
is.
doesn't?
Right.
He was in Fargo. He was in How I Met Your Mother. The Cable Guy.
Don't know that one. But How I Met Your Mother.
American Dad.
Oh. Okay. That's
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh. With the dad from Seinfeld.
Yeah, that's right. Right. Wayne's World 2.
I know that film.
I don't know what this stuff is. I think that's like a voiceover in Incredibles 2. And something called Take Me Home Tonight. Looks like
Take Me Home Tonight.
Yeah.
Oh.
And Entourage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's... why were we talking about him?
He was talking about expanding your child's vocabulary.
Oh, yeah. The guy from...
Entourage.
Entourage, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you grow up in New York?
I grew up in the suburbs.
Yeah, you have that vibe to me.
I do?
Yeah, like Westchester.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Sort of confident privilege.
Confident? Oh, yes.
You grew up in... you were in... I remember the first time I hung out with you was at Bonnaroo years and years and years ago.
Oh, when we did the You Might Be a Deadneck.
Yes.
Oh, wow. That was the first time we hung out?
I mean, I think I'd probably met you before. This is like Bonnaroo, like 2006-ish.
This was a long time ago.
Time ago. And this is probably like around there. I think we'd probably met before, but that was the first time we hung out, and I found out that you were like, had been in Westchester, but then like had been in Georgia.
Yeah, mostly Georgia.
Yes, which was like, I remember being like, I had no idea that's where you had spent so much of your childhood.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Were you in White Plains?
I was. That's a good memory.
There you go.
My grandmom, she was born in Yonkers, but then lived in White Plains pretty much from her 20s when she got married, early 20s, and just was there right off of Mamaroneck Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where my mom, grew up and we lived there. My dad was, or is, I'm not can't believe he's still alive. He might not be. I don't know. But he was just
a great dude.
A great dude. He was the Smith of the Smith and Walensky empire. And so we were constantly moving. We had no money. We would get fired or quit or whatever. And then for, I don't know, half a year we had to live at my grandmom's, which she did not.
In White Plains.
In White Plains. She did not care for. Not a big house at all. And so I was there. And also I lived in Hartsdale.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. So, but that would also be near White Plains. So we'd go to my grandmom's for food.
Yeah, I went to school in White Plains for elementary school, and I don't want to brag, but I did work in the candy department at Bloomingdale's.
Oh,
So-
I remember that. I remember when the Bloomingdales got built,
Yeah,
and that was a big deal.
yeah. It was not. It was. I was in high
Before
school.
that, it was just Alexander's.
No. Then it was Bloomingdale's.
Yeah.
And if you
Fancy.
go to the basement,
I remember.
you want to get jelly beans or Godiva chocolates that had been there so long that the white had started to kind of cover it.
Mm-hmm.
You'd on a Tuesday night, you'd come and you'd see me.
Okay.
So
What year? What era is this?
this is like not mid 90s, like 90. I was like
that was the time. Man.
junior, senior in high school. This is when department stores.
White Plains was hopping.
White Plains was popping in the mid 90s. We had one guy who went to White Plains High School who played college basketball.
Oh boy.
So that was a pretty big deal.
Are you the biggest celebrity that came out of your school?
I went to a school in Rye. I went to a Rye Country Day, and before me, the biggest celebrity was probably another very celebrated comedian, Barbara Bush. So it was me.
Yeah.
It's kind of me and Barbara Bush.
Right. Okay. Do you guys ever get together and because you have that commonality?
Yeah, we have that commonality where we want people to sleep in stadiums.
Why would I ever? What was her quote about the war? Why would I ever? Like
whatever. Yeah.
Something about my beautiful mind with that. Like,
Yeah.
Why would I ever bother trouble
yeah.
my beautiful mind?
But yeah, I gave the graduation speech at my high school.
Mm-hmm.
But not because I was like valedictorian, just because they were like,
Had a
maybe this will be
personality.
funny, you know? And then I kind of made it not funny and made it like a metaphor for jazz, because I was really into jazz at that point, and then
That sounds terrible.
and had a trumpeter to play like the head of like Caravan, but I missed his cue. And then I sort of talked about problems the administration was having with the student body and the teachers, and it was not funny. It kind of bombed, and the school was really pissed at me. And then for years on Wikipedia, it said that I exposed my genitals to the crowd at the graduation speech.
But you didn't.
I didn't.
You didn't.
No. So if someone wants to go back to my Wikipedia and change that back, they're welcome.
Was that like you think a disgruntled student put that in there?
I think it was like someone remembered me bombing, and it was like the closest they could come was like, it's like he took his dick out, and nobody liked it.
I mean, that seems like something you might want to own. You're like, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I took my dick out at my high school graduation speech.
And I did not put it back in for like a month and a half.
Yeah.
Just hanging out there.
Yeah. And it got really chapped being exposed to the elements that much.
Well, graduation is usually in the spring, summer.
Spring, summer. This was
so
a spring,
the elements
summer.
aren't going to chap
It was a hot summer. You know what I mean? It tanned and then it burned.
Oh, no. Because you fell asleep.
Because I fell asleep at Playland.
Yeah.
Fully
Playland.
exposed.
Did you see that documentary about Action Park?
No, I never. I can't believe and I really wanted to go. Like, speaking of, like,
oh fuck yeah, those ads when I was younger.
Action Park.
And the like kind of wheelie thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I you got to see the documentary. Chris Gethard is
in it.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because it was like a Jersey kind of.
It's an awesome. It's amazing. It's like a sketch. It's like a Mr. Show sketch where people, like particularly the Devastator, but people are constantly being injured in really bad ways. Really bad ways. And they have this one segment where they show the guy who took over the park, and he has designed this kind of loop-de-loop, enclosed loop-de-loop thing where he didn't figure out never even thought to figure out the physics of zipping down this thing at X amount of speed, and then what happens to the body when it does this thing. And people were getting, multiple fractures and.
I mean, it's terrible.
Constantly.
It's terrible.
Constantly.
But the idea that somebody doesn't really work through the physics of a loop-de-loop is...
It's one of the best parts of it, because they show his drawing, right? Mm-hmm. And just, looking at it, and then they interview people who were like, so I did this, I went on the, whatever it was, the speedboat bumper things, and... I dislocated my shoulder, and then I have a steel plate in this foot. It's just like constantly people talking about
They're like, would you go back? And like, absolutely. But I remember seeing those commercials and being like, I want to go there more than anywhere. Mm-hmm. We would go like, if you were ever in any sort of ski town during the summer back then, also had those like, you'd get in those tiny little carts that would go down like a cement like raceway kind of thing, and it was just like everybody breaking arms, just everybody's just burnt from like sliding down. It was but you just wanted it.
Well, one of the things they talk about in the film is you kind of, or the kids were wearing that as a badge, as it were. Like, what happened? Broke my arm at Action Park. Oh, cool. Yeah.
I mean, that's some real like Jersey pride.
Yeah, and it also, they don't really, well, maybe they do address, but it was back in such a more permissive era where like kids, like 12, 13-year-olds are just like, all right, have a good time. Take the bus back and da-da-da-da. And these kids are just going off on their own, and they're getting high and writing these completely unethical, dangerous.
Yeah. Well, now we are like, all those kids they're all being tracked. Like, there's not the freedom and the true lack of lawsuits that they had then.
Well, I was just seeing somebody very recently. Oh, where was it? North Carolina? I don't know. I'm not sure. But a mom was arrested for letting her teenager walk home from school.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know what the result was, and if it was just sort of laughed out of, or if they were serious. But I mean, people are fucking nuts,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I hope, and we can cut this, that if my, kid's like a big time school shooter, that I don't get arrested for it.
I think if your kids, I'm going to say, if they shoot up a school, if there are 10 victims or more, yes, I think you should have part of the blame. 10 or less, I mean, come on. You know what I mean?
Do you let your daughter carry? Does she have a?
Oh yeah,
is she licensed?
It's mandatory. Yeah, that's why we're moving from New York to Texas
to get that under 10 gun license.
Yep. You don't even need a license. It's fine. A license is like just government red tape.
Yeah.
This regulatory
nonsense,
choking the economy.
You know what I recently got was a license to chill.
Really?
Yeah.
And where they still have those.
Yeah, it's and I'm specifically in Margaritaville I'm allowed to do that.
licensed.
And Cabo Wabo.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
Is that Sammy Hagar?
That's
the
Sammy
red... what is it? The red rocker.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been good. That's been really... That's put
is
me
that
at
like...
ease.
what do you have to do to get that? Is that like a test or is it a...
yeah, it's a test. It's a test. It's like I have to have a specifically... a tanned sort of barrel-chested body that I have to attain.
Okay.
By a certain date.
Okay.
And once I do that, then it's as soon as I get to an airport, I have to have 2 drinks.
Right.
Both taking off and arriving.
Okay.
And then two to at least 3 marriages.
And so, and when you do sign up, you automatically get the T-shirt. Do they send the T-shirt to you? Do you get it then?
You get the T-shirt immediately, and you have to make sure that it immediately is 2 sizes too small.
Right. Okay. And how is that different from your License to Ill?
Oh, that is License to Ill is specifically. I only talk about that music hasn't been good since the Beastie Boys, and I exclusively talk about like my skateboarding days, and that I'm going to teach my kid.
Oh, right. Oh,
and so that's sort of where the difference lies.
How about applying for it? What's the application?
To apply for a License to Ill?
Yeah.
That's more complicated. That requires like kind of eBay Adidas. Like it's a lot of time spent on eBay searching for Adidas.
Okay.
And then also just like talking about wondering where the knitting factory went.
And what about your License to Spill? When did that?
Oh, well,
was that a difficult?
That's really come on since the Parkinson's.
Oh gosh. So you have to get a license for that, even though you have Parkinson's.
Yes, exactly.
Or you have to get a license for the Parkinson's.
You have to get a license for the Parkinson's,
and then you're allowed to spill.
Anytime you want.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
And your License to Thrill, what was that?
Oh my God. Well, that was 3 weeks at Neverland Ranch.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you have to do? This is
prehumously and posthumously.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to be there in the 90s. I was a giraffe wrangler, Neverland Ranch, and also a sleepover buddy.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I've been trying to sell the place. I'm the broker. If anyone is interested, I'm the broker for Neverland Ranch, currently for sale.
Wow. Okay. And you were an SB.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And what about your License to Krill, where you're able to go into the ocean and get?
That is much easier. That's just going to like any of your your favorite fish and tackle place. Obviously, smithandwolensky.com.
Yep.
They'll direct you straight to any fish and tackle place that you're into. Go to smithandwolensky.com /
I like Rudy's, which is off of 17B.
Yes, if you had the chance, or now separate, but Rudy's Barbershop, now Fellow Barbershop, you can go in there and get it.
And they'll give you krill?
They'll give you krill.
Wow.
And you get a pomade, a krill, and then you just go straight to any sort of tide pool you can find, get yourself in there. You muscle out any 4-year-old doing science experiments.
Sure.
And then you get in there, your krill, and then you Kroll. Obviously, you license to Kroll, and then you license to Kroll, a movie that I have been referenced and never seen.
License to Kroll?
Kroll.
Kroll.
Krull.
Oh, the movie Kroll.
Movie Kroll.
Oh, so it's a license that allows you to see the movie?
Yes, you can see the movie Kroll, which I have ironically yet to obtain. That's the one. But you
do have the license.
Yes, I have the license.
Okay.
But I have to get it.
Is it laminated? What kind of?
Yeah, it's a fake.
Oh, right.
I got a fake jersey.
Yeah.
Licensed to Kroll. It's laminated and there's like a hologram, but it's bullshit.
Okay. Well, my eyes have been opened. We learned a lot.
Look, we live in this this highly bureaucratic liberal bureaucracy.
It's bullshit.
All these licenses.
The woke police.
Yeah. Can I get started?
Yeah, please. I know you had before said don't get me started.
I know. But
now you're asking to get started.
Can I get started about the woke police,
yeah,
please?
Please get started.
Okay. Is it true that they're doing a remake of a Woke Police Academy? Is that true? Are you involved?
It is absolutely true. It's animated. It's for Fox animation domination, frustration, abomination, weekend block.
It's you and Brewer, and then who else?
The late who's the comic who yelled who did the Affleck?
Kiddison? Oh no, Big Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah, the late Gilbert Gottfried, and Jeff Dunham. Sort of Jeff
One of
Dunham.
The puppets?
Yeah, Peanut, the Woozle.
How is it recording with? Do you guys record together, or do you record with Peanut when you're doing the show?
I record with Peanut, and then Jeff will be linked up via,
he's on Zoom or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like an ISDN.
It's not Zoom, but it's one of those type of things.
It's like a Google Meet or a Skype ISDN line, and he's there, but Peanut's in the booth with him.
He does his through Starlink, through Elon Musk's
Okay,
thing.
great.
And then, the Peanut is in the room, and he's got a whole team, and
Peanut does,
yeah.
Jeff's actually very easy.
Oh, super super chill, down to earth.
But Peanut
is. He's fine. He's famous, but he's definitely carries that thing into a room.
And do you guys improvise, or do you stay pretty close to the script?
I improvise. Peanut is. It's absolutely. It throws him too when there's it's like stick to the script. Because
he's got his cues and he knows what he's going to hit.
Stick to the script.
Well, and he really.
And he'll tell me, "Hey, I'm a but in a funny voice. I'm a professional."
Right.
Let's be professional. You like that? That's kind of funny.
Funny voice.
I wouldn't even try it.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's but that's the thing with Peanut. He's as he says to me, as also Richard Kind has said to me, is I love the words. I'll work with the words. And Peanut and Richard are both that way. They're both theater guys. Yeah. And
they must really disrespect and are frustrated by people like you and me.
Yeah. But that tension is what makes Woke Police Academy work. I think that's what will make it work when it comes out in 5 years.
I know they're doing a reissue or a box set type thing of Synchronicity, but by the Woke Police.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they're redoing it, lyrics and music and stuff.
And does Woke Sting and Woke the other guy
Andy Summers?
Yeah. Who are the three guys? There's Sting.
Stuart Copeland. Brother of Miles Copeland, who started IRS Records.
Really?
Yep.
And are those guys, are those ones who talk, don't talk? Sting and Stuart Copeland?
Yeah. I think Andy was like the, amiable guy, and I think Stuart and Gordon Sumner is Sting's real name. I'm sorry. Sting is his real name. Gordon Sumner is his nickname,
right,
his stage name.
Right.
Yeah. They were at, they were butting heads.
And that was you and who was the guy? What was the name of the guy from Mr. Show with you?
Let me look it up. Mr. Show with Bob and David. So
you're David, and who's Bob?
Yeah, I'm David, obviously.
Yeah.
Bob is, I don't think it says here. I don't see The Man Show? No.
And Mr. Show is different than The Man Show.
No.
Same thing.
Oh, it's Bob Odenkirk, the guy we were talking about before.
From Entourage.
Yeah, the guy from Entourage.
Yeah.
We referenced it very briefly, but I want to talk about. So at Bonnaroo, I don't know whose idea this was. It sounds like your idea. It was you, me, and Aziz, and I feel like it was you. That sounds like I don't know.
I have no idea.
It was
a wordplay bit. It's possible.
You might be a dead neck if and it was about it was like taking Jeff Foxworthy's "You Might Be a Redneck,"
yes,
and then you just plug in the joke,
right? But it was specifically if you were like a fan of the Grateful Dead and a redneck. Yeah,
and then the three of us sat on chairs.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I think I was doing a set. It was in the tent.
Yes.
And then I brought you guys on.
I think so.
That's how it works.
If you.
Yeah. And we didn't tell each other what they were, but we each wrote like 10 of them or something.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember any of the specific ones now. Oh, but by the way, congrats to Headgum on their 2022 official honoree for the Webby Awards.
Oh, we got
awesome.
that on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, my God.
It's a thing where they just have, you can put in anything.
But that's great.
No, but it's
But on Hollywood Boulevard.
Hollywood Boulevard.
That's great.
Well, it doesn't, sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, the stores where you get the Oscar, it says, world's greatest dad. You're not really the world's greatest dad.
Oh.
Because you'll see, like, I don't know, 100 plus of those cups and those awards. So.
Well, I got that award.
You got an Oscar?
No, I got a World's Greatest Dad award.
Yeah, it's not official, is what I'm trying to say.
But I have a license.
A
license to sip. Couldn't come up with an L. A license to swill.
Oh, nice.
And it's a World's Greatest Dad shot glass.
Oh.
And just backwash. It's everybody's backwash, and I just swill it. If you
you might be a deadneck if you I don't remember.
You might be a deadneck.
You might be a deadneck.
Yeah, it was like, if you wear Birkenstocks but are also married to your sister.
That was the much more clever than that, but that was the tenor of the joke. It was like,
that would have been a first. That would have been a first draft of yeah. You might be a deadneck.
You might be a deadneck.
Yeah, I think that was when I was like, oh wow, you're George. I remember being like, oh, your Southern accent is much more specific because of living. But I haven't been to Bonnaroo in many years, but that was always. Do I want to go back? Have you been back? Have you been back in recent years at all?
No, not in recent years. I think the last. I used to do those festivals all the time, but
just trying to get free. I was just trying to get free stuff.
Well, I think pretty much because of Mr. Show and then anything that followed after that, and this is a real thing though. But I'd say, listen, I'm happy to do it, but I need a all access pass for everything, because I can't. And I know this from experience. I can't enjoy the band I'm going to see because people are like trying to take a picture or talking to me. Nice people, but it's like I really want to see this band, and so, but that's never been an issue. And then it's the coolest fucking thing in the world. You're hanging in the wings, right? Watching Kendrick Lamar or Metallica. Or
I feel like I haven't been. I have not been to I have not done many. I have in recent years have done fewer of those kinds of festivals.
Yeah, I haven't done one in quite a while, but I used to do tons of them.
I do. I remember one night at Bonnaroo. This was a few years later. I was there. It was like some of the guys from the. I was there with this show, The League, that I was on, and the Workaholics guys were there, and their show had just come out, and we were all like doing the shows and running around, and you'd stay and like they'd put you up at like a double tree.
Yeah, you did have to walk down the highway.
Yes, I remember crossing the street and going to Chick-fil-A with you guys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and crossing the highway.
Cross the highway. It's in the middle of nowhere. It is
Murfreesboro.
Yes.
The worst named city I've ever heard.
Well, you can bring that up with the Murphs freeze. Because it was it's their borough.
Yeah. Do you know that the Murphys are related to the Walensky's?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
I did know that.
Through marriage.
Yep. Shotgun marriage.
Yep.
They had to marry shotguns. It's true. It's an old redneck thing.
It's an old tenant. If you marry your own shotgun and also trade cassette tapes from Cornell 91.
What was I going to say? It was about I remember the first time I went to Bonnaroo, how deeply impressed I was with how do you run this thing, put this thing together. The logistics are insane, and it worked really well. By the time I did my first show there, they had probably been around for at least 4 years, and it's just this massive undertaking. And I've done, I did Bumbershoot maybe 10 times, Outside Lands in San Francisco, and Fun. Yeah,
I haven't done Fun.
It's good. They're all good, and Fuck Yeah Fest, which I don't think exists anymore. Is that still around?
The one in LA?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That was a smaller.
Yeah, but that park, that's
punky.
that's a cool park downtown.
Yeah.
Or it's kind of LA area. But I did, that it is a crazy undertaking, but I remember doing Outside Lands.
They nailed it. There wasn't one.
It's crazy that you have like massive bands coming in and out all day at like 8 or 9 stages.
And people who need attending to. Some people get sick. Some people, drugs or drinking in the sun or whatever it is. And the logistics of getting a sound check in for the band, and the band might be late because you're going into whatever, Nashville maybe, and then driving. I can't remember where you fly into.
Yeah, I don't know if it's Nashville or Knoxville or something like that.
And then you got to go get transportation, and you have hard outs on your time, and it's just amazing what they're able to do.
It is this funny thing, I think, with you think about like, I'm going to get into music and just have fun, and then like most of the people involved in that world are like have to be massive logistics monsters. Like you are constantly,
and that's not how my brain works.
No. We were there. We were kind of hanging out and having fun, and then there was like the last van back to Murfreesboro, and I'm in the car with those guys, a couple of guys from League and the Workaholics guys, and we are waiting for one guy. Like we're all in the van, just like waiting. It's like 2:30 in the morning. We've all been there all day long. And we're just like waiting to get back, and we're waiting and waiting and waiting, and we're backstage or behind the stage at like Neil Young is playing, and we're not even watching Neil Young. We're all just in the car waiting until this one guy gets in, and it's the guy. There was a guy who played the saxophone in like public spaces. He would play like, like I don't know what it was, one of those like fucking sax riffs, and it was just like one of those viral phenoms that like happens. Yeah. And he got on stage and played with Neil Young, and we all just were like waiting for some fucking dude. Anyway, we then went to Steak and Shake.
That's not a very good story.
No, it's not a great story. As I was telling it, I was like, right, this is not going to have the payoff that I want. But then we went to the Steak and Shake in Murfreesboro.
Good fries.
We got in there if you haven't been to Steak and Shake, it's like Johnny Rockets on meth. And we get in there and with those guys, and we're the only ones there, and the restaurant cannot believe that the dudes from the League and the dudes from Workaholic are there. Like, we gotta smoke you out. So everybody leaves the restaurant. The entire staff were in the parking lot, and then you just hear the smoke alarms going off. They've fully left food just. And then the guy from the song comes back and finishes this story off with a bow.
The guy from the song.
Yeah, the guy from the song. License to Chill. The guy from the fucking guy with the saxophone was playing with Neil Young. Can we edit? This is live. Is this going live on Smith and Walensky?
Yeah. This is a corporate retreat for everybody in or the higher ups in Smith and Walensky. It's their thank you to the people who work hard to make them. It's part of a food group. It's not just Smith and Walensky. It's not just Smith and Walensky. No, it's Capital Grill. It's the fish bones. It's Captain D's Seafood.
Yeah.
It's Panda Express. It's what, am I missing anybody? It's a big food group.
It's a big food group. It's got Sbarro's. Yes. and also La Famiglia Pizza.
Yeah.
So
and Tim Hortons.
Tim Hortons is on the Canadian side. Thank you to the Canadian team for being here as well. And I guess this is pre-written stuff that we have to do. Hey, Marcia, your maternity leave is over, so no more work from home. Your child is going to be fine. So that's from the higher ups. That's from David, obviously.
That Marcia, that was where do I over here?
Yeah.
Hi. So Marcia, that was from me. That's not corporate. Didn't.
Sorry. Yes, Marcia. That is from David. That's something that he wrote, and but corporate did sign off on the joke before. All of this has been pre-approved.
Yeah. Well, so they say. We'll find out later.
We'll find out because this obviously is streaming live for Smith and Walensky's on the hub. Everyone across and all the food group. But also there will be a edited down version.
We'll send you that link. But just keep enjoying your time. I know you've split the groups into some people are in Aspen. Enjoy that, and other folks are in downtown Albuquerque.
So yes, and we'll do breakout rooms once the comedy portion is done. We'll do breakout rooms. Obviously, if you're in downtown Albuquerque, the apocalypse is upon you. And so, you know what show they shot in Albuquerque?
Yes, Batman.
Batman. Yes, the Batman show. So
and Carol Burnett.
And so anyone obviously will be going to the Harvey Korman Sparrows in Albuquerque. Obviously, lunch on us. It's part of the food group.
Yes.
And all you Tim Conway
heads.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Yeah. Tim Conway's Cronuts in downtown Albuquerque.
Conway's Cronuts. Downtown. Have you been to Albuquerque?
I haven't.
It's not great.
Yeah, they shot that show
St. Elsewhere
there, I think, right, with Howie Mandel.
Yep. He put the balloon, the glove, the latex glove
over.
Yeah, it's a really clever bit. He would put the glove and then seal it so the bottom of the glove was over his head, and the bottom of the glove was on his upper lip. And then he would blow with his nose, and it would blow up, and then he'd make funny faces.
And that was like a full season of St. Elsewhere.
Yes, and then in multiple languages, and then he'd turn to the camera, and go, "Deal or no deal? You tell me."
Were you ever on Deal or No Deal? Did you ever get
twice? Yeah.
Congrats. You and Meghan Markle were both. Suitcase girls. Suitcase girls.
Yeah. Back then, you couldn't say girl.
Right.
Now you can. So they tried to make it, not gender specific. So suitcase buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I was on twice. Once as a suitcase buddy, and then another time I won $50 million.
And that's how you've paid to do this podcast.
I mean, yeah.
Are you out of pocket on this?
I'm out of pocket. I still owe, obviously. That's why we don't have light bulbs in there.
Sure.
Because we'll
come
can't
around.
Really afford.
We'll come around and get that. We'll come around and get that afterwards. So we'll come around and then we'll go up and we'll get that afterwards.
That's one of my favorite things when you're on set.
Yeah.
And then you see the directors are doing that like a bit about directors where it's this one I get. All right, you got a frame. You're making a frame.
Right.
But it's this thing.
Yeah.
The one you did.
And then we'll come up.
For those of you listening, he's gesturing with camera. His fingers anyway, you got to see it.
It's like a shocker, but if everybody was on their side, and I'm doing that as if I'm lifting multiple people.
Have you directed a film or TV?
I've directed. I'm doing a new show for FX that'll come out sometime this year that I'm producing and I directed some of. I'm not in. And
what is it?
It's called Adults. It's like a 20-somethings in New York, kids in that sort of milieu of it's really fun. These Ben Cronengold and Rebecca Shaw wrote it. Really funny young writers, and we've just been helping to make it for a long time. And we're finally making it. It's
Do you do these things on set?
I did a little of this. No, I didn't really. It's so funny. Have you directed?
Yeah.
It's like it's weird. It's like when you've written and produced a ton, it's like you've done like most of the job.
Sure.
But then there is this other part of the job that you haven't done, and it's a little for a second it's a little scary.
It for sure. Yeah. The first time you tackle it, and I've had the exact same experience where you're starring something you wrote and you're producing, which means, you have been a part of it from the inception all the way to pre-production where you're deciding all these things. Then you hire a director, and then, my personality is, I truly feel bad for some of the directors I've hired because, and I'm not being facetious here, because they would say something or they'd have an idea and I'd be like, no, we're not going to do that. Let's do it this way or whatever. Yeah. And I would always talk to them when we were hiring,
Sure.
and say, very collaborative and I was never a dick about it, but it was just,
it's your thing. You've been with it longer. You have a clear vision.
And they
for
were
it.
totally respectful. There was
Sure.
no like arguments or anything. I just feel it's like I've hired you to do the shitty parts of directing.
Well, that's the thing is like when you're directing, part of it is like, oh, so you have to be there. You have to go on all tech scouts.
Yeah,
you have to be there at call, and you don't leave until you're absolutely done.
Yeah.
And it's not that fun, especially in TV where it's like the writer is kind of like, do this. But then there is this other thing where it's like you're the writer, producer, whatever in it. But then like, it's like, all right, we're done with that setup. You're like, all right, I'm going to go drink a Diet Coke somewhere right now. And then the director, they're like, what do we do now? And you're like, oh, okay. All right. And it's that thing of like, do I have every shot? Like, have I gotten every shot?
Well, if you have a good script supervisor there and you lean on them a lot.
Yeah.
And, but it's like when you're doing something that you wrote and you're producing it, it's way more fun to direct, because it's just, you've kind of got it and whatever. But, there is that kind of director for hire type thing where when it's your project and you're just acting and you wrote and produced it and you're like, all right, you figure out the shit I don't, you go to the meeting and decide what color the drapes are.
Yes, totally. You're like, because there are the things, and I think each person's different, the things that you care about as a writer-director, a writer-actor that you care about, producer, and the things that you're like, I don't care. I just don't care about this. Because I think that's also another kind of brain. Some of those directors, when you watch like people who are like, whatever, Wes Anderson or whatever, he's a director, right?
Hang on. No, he has a fried chicken place.
Oh, Wes Anderson's. Oh,
that's why they call it Wes Anderson's fried chicken place.
Yeah, I would eat fried chicken made by Wes Anderson.
I wouldn't.
Really?
I mean, if I was hungry, does it taste good?
Yeah, it's still. I mean, it looks amazing.
I'm sure. Is it a little precious?
Oh yeah.
Okay, then I would eat it.
It's fried chicken by Precious by
the film Precious.
By the film Precious by Wes Anderson.
Wow. What if Wes Anderson remade Precious?
I would go watch it. What I would do is watch a press tour with Monique and Wes Anderson together. I would be thrilled to watch that.
Man, she was so good in that movie.
She really was.
Yeah. The whole movie's good. And also, Mariah Carey was great.
She's in Precious?
Yeah, she is. She works at the the housing authority or one of those the welfare type things. She's in the office, and I read something about how the director she wanted to wear lots of makeup, and the director didn't want her to. Mm-hmm. And she really looks. She doesn't have a lot of makeup on, and it works, of course, And he would like trick her saying that we're not shooting yet and stuff, and like shoot rehearsals and say you can go get made up after that. But if you watch it, that's she's good.
And Mariah Carey is, and that she's an actor.
She's in The Masked Singer. She plays the Bumblebee.
I got invited. I had a minute where I was like, genuinely was like, what if I did Dancing with the Stars, like legit, like no bit, just like really went and did it. Like I was like, there was a part of me that was like, that would be very fun. Like not a moment super sincere. And then I got an offer soon after that to do The Masked Dancer. And I was like, well, this is as close as I'm going to get. And they said that I was, quote, too fat to fit in the costume.
That's not true.
Stop. They wouldn't let me do it.
I would do The Masked Singer.
I bet. Can you sing?
Yeah. Oh, those schoolgirl days of telling tales and biting nails are gone. I started at too high a register. But in my mind, I know they will still live on and on. Dun, 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 dun. But how do you thank someone who has taken you from crayons to perfume? All right, yeah.
I mean, first of all jokes aside, you have a terrible voice.
Yeah, no, it's not very good. It hurts. It hurts a lot of people.
No, but you really have I should have known by the quality of your speaking voice. But you have
the quality of my speaking voice.
Yes, you have a beautiful tone to your speaking voice, but you really sing quite beautifully.
Well, thank you. It's I spent 20 years as a cantor at Temple Yishmael.
Yishmael. It's just a Yishmael. Oi. Welcome, Cantor David Cross, back to Yishmael. Oh, God. I do have, being a cantor.
Oh, what was the documentary? Wait. Was it Capturing the Freedmen?
I was literally going to say that.
That's what one of the guys is like, was the cantor, right?
Oh, really? I'm sure. Wasn't he a clown or no?
No, maybe I'm conflating two different docs, but there was a guy who was like, it's probably a different documentary, but this little aside here, I was a judge for the documentary
competition
or the category at the either Tribeca Film Festival or Gotham, or one of those, and it was a number of years ago, and there were like 5 or 6 of us on the the jury, and we had to watch I'm gonna say 12 to 14 documentaries, and more than half of them I would be bawling, and you'd have to go to the next one like in
Straight
20
off.
minutes, and just the most tragic fucking heartbreaking stories, and like getting in the car and like, all right, what is the next one? Getting in there and like composing yourself, and like, just the saddest things.
Yeah.
Watching a child die over an hour and a half.
And did you and then what did you, and then you voted on which was the
yes, we had to I don't know if we had to come to a consensus, or it had to be like 80% of us. I don't remember, but there were 2 camps. There was like the camp I was in that this movie that was so beautiful. I don't remember its name, unfortunately, and it did end up winning. Scottish film about some kids, specifically this girl in these like just dead end council flats in this depressed, town where was I can't remember what the industry was, but it shut down. It's just, and this girl's so amazing, and you watch her, and then she ends up getting, and every boyfriend is a fucking asshole. One of them ends up going to jail, killing some kid or crippling him, and it's just so sad but hopeful at the end. And that one won, but then there was this other one about that was also good. Anyway, to tell you these things about a film I can't give you the name for is like frustrating, so I won't do it. But and it
was Genius by
yes,
Aretha Franklin.
It was. I just remember like seeing 3 in a row that just were heartbreaking. And going, I can't keep doing this, guys. I mean,
now you're like, and now I'm off to the SVA Theater on 23rd Street.
You know,
but I mean, that's being a judge for one of those things just seems difficult because you are like going to go like, when was the last time you saw like 12 movies in 4 days?
Yeah. Well, porn, I guess I did. I do a lot of porn judging.
Yeah, you do, and you do that. You do that at home alone, or are you doing that?
Home Alone, but via Zoom, so everybody can watch.
You have not seen my porn Home Alone yet, right?
No.
Yeah.
What is what happens?
I mean, the premise is, it's tough. It's a man dressed as a 7-year-old boy, and it's a home invasion kind of.
So it's like kink play. It's like role playing.
It's very dark. It's very dark.
Wow, but it's hardcore.
Yeah, it's very
graphic.
hard. It's very graphic. And it's called Bone Alone. And anyway, it's available on smithandwolensky.com.
All right, Nick. So I end every show with a question.
A home invasion porn anecdote.
With a question from my daughter. This is a real, and you can answer it in any way you see fit. And these are questions she's asked. If I'm going to see Moana 2, do I need to see the first Gladiator movie? No, that's a dumb joke. All right. No, here it is. This is, why does it feel weird when you breathe with your mouth instead of your nose for a long time?
That's a good question. Well, I think if you breathe through your mouth and you love nitrous, you might be a dead Nick. I think if you breathe through your mouth, you're not allowing your mouth to stay like salivated and hydrated, and so it starts to dry out and it becomes unpleasant for you. I think so if you can, you want to, and just for meditative reasons, you want to breathe through your nose. Speaking of, are you did you do TM or anything like that, David Lynch?
No.
So you don't care about his passing at all?
Because I never did transcendental meditation.
Because you never did transcendental
That's exactly
meditation.
right.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck him. Fucking TM bullshit.
Can we just be the first to say, like, fuck David Lynch?
We're not the first, my friend.
I never did. I love David Lynch's movies and TV and stuff, but I never did TM.
No, I didn't either.
Because I'm fine. I have a license to chill, which is basically like doing TM.
I have a license to bill, and that joke is going to cost you $1.72.
I think, but breathing through your nose and out through your mouth is good, I think, if you're like trying to learn how to like meditate and do breath work and that stuff. So does your daughter do you like teach her to like, is she doing any like, I'm like constantly trying to get my son.
She can bench about 220.
Yeah, what is she putting up? Is that deadlift or is that off the bench?
That's off the bench.
Because my 4-year-old right now can he's doing clean and jerk stuff.
Yeah.
And he's putting up about like 125 pounds.
Wow.
He's ripped. He's one of those really ripped little kids.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good for him. Halloween's coming up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's coming up. By the way, guys,
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to everyone in the food group from Sbarro's to Smith & Wolenski's. Happy Halloween, everybody. It's a mandatory dress up. Even though we're in January, It's mandatory Halloween dress up till we get to Halloween. So you got a 9-month period to wear, and whether it's an Iron Man costume that David can bring from Times Square that's been covered in soot, to, anything you want, anything from...
like I'm Gumby, damn it.
Yes.
Is a good...
That's a good one.
That's a good... Strawberry shortcake.
Strawberry shortcake's a great one. If you want to do sort of anything from the Justin Trudeau line, you can do that as well. Now that he's out of power, he's looking to get...
I actually have a joke that references Justin Trudeau. I'm not kidding. About Halloween.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing the Smith & Wollensky's corporate. I don't know if you want to do old material or not, or is it in the current act?
It is not.
Okay.
And I only do it around Halloween.
Well, check back in for the Halloween corporate that we're doing. What is that? 9 months.
In about 9 months. You remember in July when we had our Christmas in July party? Coming up is going to be the Halloween in February party.
Yeah. We like to, just like our customers, we like to keep people on their toes. You never know what to expect.
We like to keep our customers on their toes.
Oh, that's why our chairs are just 7 inches higher than your normal chair. So that our customers...
We get it. You don't have to explain it.
Exactly.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
All right.
That was a Headgum podcast.